Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rico and Pearlo's House of Larry's
My audio cut out. What's going on?
Takes Frolic. And the audio cut out right when I said it. Are you hearing it now?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That was a great intro. Anyways, today I got to go back to it. I just posted something on Twitter. You can go check it out. But we will be talking about Tuch, and we'll talk about the Drury trade too. Why not? It was a pretty interesting trade as well. But I had an epiphany today. I've been going all about Larkin to Minnesota, and he's blocking everything to get to Minnesota, and I still think he is. But I got to thinking today that I still think Larkin in his heart of hearts doesn't want to leave Detroit. I really do. He loves, I still think he absolutely loves Detroit and hates the fact that he feels like he has to leave. And it came out today, it seemed even by Friedman, like a lot of people are basically saying that it's pretty unlikely that Dallas is going to be able to sign Robertson. Now, that being said, Robertson can be playing extreme hardball to get every penny, and maybe they do go it through, but I'm hearing numbers as high as 14 sheets, man, for Robertson. And I just don't think Dallas could do that. So there's been, I think Saravelli said that it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to be a trade. So my thinking is, and I honestly haven't had time to go through all the teams and really go deep on this, but Robertson's going to have to sign long for anybody. They're not just going to make a trade without pen to paper in this one. Otherwise, it's just 1 year, and Dallas isn't going to get anywhere near enough back. So he's going to have to put pen to paper. As soon as I posted my kind of trade there, people were like, no, it's going to cost DeBrincat and Larkin. If they're not in the deal, it's not going to happen. And I'm like, Robertson's not signing in Detroit if DeBrincat and Larkin are going back. I mean, that's just not happening. You're not going to put pen to paper on that deal. And if you look at anybody else out there, how many teams have 14 million? You'd have to be giving up players to do it. And if you give up, like, I haven't really looked through, but I don't know if there's too many teams that could give up players and still be viable or any better than if they got Robertson, if they had to do that, especially to cover the cap that they're going to need to sign 14 million. New Jersey's got their 3 firsts. He could consider that. But I mean, New Jersey gets Robertson, and those 3 firsts are got to be late. Like, they're not going to be prime first round picks. 4 firsts, I should say 4, right? It would take 4 firsts. And if they had to work out a deal, you're going Bratt, Mercer, probably what defensemen do they have there? Like, they're going to want Bratt and Mercer for sure, and then maybe a couple first there. That might work, but that leaves them pretty thin. So I think it's possible. What I'm getting at here is that Stevie Y talks to Robertson's agent and says, look, we'll give you Pellica. We'll first they'll talk to Dallas and say we'll Pellica, Casper, or Nygaard or N Nygaard, and the 2027 first. That's 4 firsts right there, and those are really good because they've already developed. And the 27 first, I mean, Detroit hasn't been making the playoffs. They might make it here, but they're probably not going to be like top of the league. Could be, I suppose. So you get a decent first there. And then they talk to Robertson and say, look, we'll pay you 13.5 sheets or whatever it is. And if you come, I've talked to Larkin and he said he would change his mind if you came. And then you talk to Larkin already says, you know what? I really do want to stay in Detroit. And if we get Robertson, I think we are heading the right direction. And everybody kisses and makes up. And you got yourself a pretty darn good team, short maybe a second line center, especially if you can. Now Kane perks up and goes, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't mind sticking around here. Or you can get a free agent out there. Like you get Robertson, and I think a lot of the free agents out there might go, this isn't too shabby. So what do you think about that? Do you think that has any plausibility to it at the very least?
I think anything does at this point because Larkin hasn't gone to Minnesota. Like, there's only so much he can do there. So for the trade, so that hasn't developed at this point. So they're going to have to look at other options here. So I think, yeah, I could see Robertson going there if Larkin's there, and because if you're going to trade Robertson, you need cap room, and he wants to be somewhat competitive, I'm sure, because if it's, I don't think if he wanted to get paid bank, I'm sure a team like Chicago or San Jose had paid him 17 million, no problem, or something like that, like Kaprizov money. So I think he wants to stay competitive a bit. So that's the only part that makes it a little iffy for me, is because will Detroit be better? Probably a little bit, yeah. Can they get some more pieces guaranteed in there to make it look more competitive this year? I think so. So yeah, I can definitely see it happening. It's just a matter of what does Robertson want to do.
He does have some Detroit roots, doesn't he? I thought
his parents live in Michigan. Yeah,
there you go.
He moved.
Yeah, there's that.
Definitely open, and his girlfriend's from Canada, so they're
go.
all right in that area. So any team in that area would make sense if you want to be close to family. If he wants to be competitive, like, do you think a team like Tampa Bay might throw bank at Robertson? I think they had some assets to move.
Who's that?
Tampa Bay.
I don't think they can afford 14 million. I mean, what are they going to give up in that deal? Like, you got to be given a point.
Well, Moser would have to go.
Yeah.
And like another good defenseman. And then yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if he's going to be traded, I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be looking at it. So, but I don't know where he wants to go, but I feel like the Michigan thing makes sense in that area. Yeah. Maybe not just Detroit, but they're perfect trading partners right now. So
yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Other than that, there are, I'm sure, like Utah has been very aggressive, obviously, the last little while. The Peterka trade last year, and they got Sergachev the year before. And I mean, there has been nothing but talk about moving forward in Utah. Like, that ownership doesn't want to be sitting on its hands right now. So I could see Utah ponying up a pretty nice package if Robertson doesn't mind that idea. But I think most of those would be futures. Maybe you could get the actual Peterka in the deal, and Deone. I mean, I'd be if I'm Dallas, I'm all over Iginla. Wouldn't that be interesting? They traded his father to Dallas for what's his name? Why do I always forget his name? They won a cup with him, anyways, to Calgary. And now they'd be doing the opposite. They'd be trading a guy like that and bringing him to Dallas. So I'm pretty sure they would be wanting Iginla in that deal plus for sure. And I think that's reasonable if Robertson doesn't mind. I don't know if their cap space is now, though. I'd have to look that up.
Who's that?
Utah.
Not. They're in pretty good hands still. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I want to say about 15 million roughly. Let's see. Utah, close, 13.3.
13.3. So that would be all the money. But if you include Tuch in the deal, because Tuch doesn't have trade protection.
They got to sign Barrett Hayden though, so probably take
You got to sign
good.
Barrett Hayden.
So
Barrett Hayden could be in the deal.
that's true.
Could go Paterka, Hayton, a Ginla, and a first or something like that. I mean, if I'm Dallas, that's fairly intriguing. Hayton's a really good third line center, a shutdown guy, and Paterka replaces some of the offense. And Ginla, I think he's going to be a beast. So if he doesn't mind going to Utah is on the rise too, much like Detroit. But I just think that Michigan thing might be something that persuades, like really leans him over to Detroit. Yeah, it's very possible.
Well, it's got to be a team with enough cap space to take it on. That's the first thing, and enough assets to get him.
Cap space, assets, or ability to give a player that's going to give them that.
I wonder if maybe that's what Buffalo's been doing. Maybe they're quietly trying to make a package, because it's weird how Tuch doesn't want to sign there, or do they not want to sign Tuch? Maybe it's just weird. You think
I think it's more. I think it's just more that his 8.5 for, or what is it? 8.5 for 8.
No, 10.
No, 10.5 for 8. Yeah. And I think it's just going to be really tough for them to sign Benson there. And Benson is sort of the future.
Benson is signed.
7.5, right?
Yeah, 7.5 by 5.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, not by 5, by he got 7 years. Yeah, he didn't get 7 years.
Yeah, and am I clicking here? Do I got to read my background? Am I looking like I'm doing glitching all over the place?
Yep.
I do. That's not good. I don't know why when I move my background that happens.
It's not your background. It's yourself is blending in. Every time you talk about Larkin, you disappear.
Well, that's because I'm putting my head down. But am I glitching though? Am I like glitching?
Like you're
I'm
right.
not
You're left. Yeah, when you look down, your whole hat tries to disappear.
Yeah.
And your left cheek is missing.
Okay, that should be better now. I was just gonna look at Buffalo. I'm gonna bring it up on my phone. I find it easier that way.
So the only defenseman that has trade protection is Dahlin. So Power can be moved, Samuelson could be moved, Timmins could be moved, but with them shipping out Bo Byram, I don't think they really want to move anybody. So
yeah,
I don't know if they have the assets either. Like they have guys that can move. Like
it would take like Helenus and
their draft capital. So if they want futures, they have draft capital, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Buffalo looks like they're gonna. I mean, if Buffalo gets Robertson, they're gonna go off. You're not getting lower picks on that. But it all depends on if he would sign for 14 mil. And I'm not sure. Like Buffalo just didn't. I mean, he's 26, so they might be more kind of okay with signing him. I'm just going to look at cap projection. They got 13 million, and Krebs, not anybody overly too significant to sign.
Like Buffalo can't be done yet. They need to add something. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that they're in there. I don't know, like you said. I think that giving a defense, maybe that Mertka kid, you give up isn't their left like one of their more the left side most? Because I know he only plays left. Yeah, it would be like Osland, Mertka,
Jersey, go Sens too. So I was comment.
Coolidge, and a first or something, and a first or something like that. But I mean, like I said, they've only got 13 million. So I don't know if they can fit in 14 sheets. They could go McLeod. McLeod is what, 5 million. They could go McLeod and a couple guys. Something like that. If they McLeod, Oslin, I don't think
what do they got coming up?
Hellenius would be in there, a first round pick, and Mertka. Mertka was a first round pick, something like that. They could do something like that. That would be a beastly line, man. Oh, fuck. Tage Thompson.
Yeah, they do have good prospects, Buffalo, especially on D. So I could see something maybe, but then Dallas is taking a step back 100%. Does Ranson sign there thinking they're going to be a perennial contender? So you get rid of Robertson. Does that piss Ranson enough? I feel like it would a little for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they can start going into the free agent market to fill some holes and sign Bork. They can sign Bork. They have Bork there, so they could sign Bork. And fill in that way. I tell you the honest truth, the Detroit deal I worked out to me sounds better than what Buffalo would be offering there. But it really kind of depends on where Robertson would sign long anyways. Maybe Robertson doesn't like the idea of going to Buffalo, and that's all a moot point to begin with.
It's like, what does he want to do? Because you're not going to take any kind of pay cut to stay in Dallas. So does that show that you don't believe in Dallas in the long term, maybe?
I don't know what his motive. I don't know what his motivation is, because I mean, that, like, we talk about the whole tax-free state stuff.
Because if you're selling for 12 or denying 12 there, that means you're denying 14 or 15 somewhere else.
You would think, right? Like, I don't really get why he wouldn't go like 12 and a half or something like that and stay in Dallas. Maybe there is something there in Dallas that he's not too fancy with.
Let's see.
I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of odd.
You got Tyler Sagan's gone, so next year they're not re-signing him. Sam Steele's a free agent. Well, it's not a huge loss.
Maybe he's looking down the road and he doesn't like the direction that they're going. Like, maybe he's thinking that, okay, this team's starting to go on the downside. Maybe
he's trying to outprice himself so he doesn't look like an asshole.
Right.
But he's outpricing himself, so you have to move him.
Yeah, it seems like it, because, like you said, it's a tax-free state. Some other team gives you 14 mil. Like I just heard today, and I've been going back and forth, and like I said, Russ Cohen said that he believes it's more to do with being in the bubble than that stuff like that about Canadian teams and all that. But Tuch is going to make $2 million more in Florida in pocket. So, I mean, $2 million is $2 million. And I imagine it would be the same in Dallas.
I'm wondering if, he has, so something that really hasn't been talked about, he has full control of the situation, and people are always a restricted free agent because he doesn't like, nobody's going to trade him unless he's signed, and he doesn't have to sign squat. So you trade him, he just has to play 1 year and walk.
Right. You're not doing it without signing him.
No. Yeah. So Jason Robertson's probably like, if you're trading me, well, you better make sure it's somewhere I want, because I'm not going to sign unless it's the place I want.
Well, yeah, I think that goes without saying. Everybody that's involved in the deal knows that. Okay, here's my, call it conspiracy theory if you want. That's what people call me. Say I did about the Minnesota thing, and I don't know. I think it's logic, but call it conspiracy theory. This whole thing might have been all about the fact that he wants to go to Detroit. And that's why he's outpricing him. And this whole thing is that. And Larkin is kind of when he said he wanted a trade just in case Stevie Y backed out of this shit, because he already backed out of Hughes. He said, either you do this Robertson deal or I'm gone. This might have been all about it right from the get-go. And if you ask me, my gut says that if he can get Robertson, Larkin will go, okay, you know what, I'll stay. I really think that is possible. And I really think it's very possible that Robertson, you said his family from the Michigan area, his wife is from Toronto or something like that, which is just across the border. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And he's pricing himself out of Dallas because he actually wants to go in there. Oh, we're blessed by the Rico man. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. The Rico man. Rico man. How you doing, buddy? Good to have you back on the show, man.
What I miss?
Well, okay, I'll do it quick.
McDavid went to Dallas.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'll do it quick. I posted on my Twitter something that came to me. I had an epiphany. I was doing my ohms, all that shit.
Yeah.
And the universe brought me this. Actually, I just thought about it. Whatever. What if? This is a total flip for me too. What if Stevie Y calls up Robertson's agent and says, I'll tell you what, if I can convince Larks to stay, or maybe he calls Larkin first and says, if I can convince Robertson to come and I give up the assets, would you consider staying in Detroit? And then he calls up Robertson and says, look, I talked to Larks. He says that if you're interested, I'll pay you the 14 sheets. Give up the draft capital. He's got family in the Michigan area, and his wife is from Toronto. Larkin says he'll stay. We almost made the playoffs last year. With you, we're probably flying. Would you be willing to come over here? And I think they both come together. Everybody has their little love fest and kisses, and then everything's okay again, and they fly off into the land. That feels like, and then I was just talking about how, what if this was all about that to begin with? Because Larkin and Robertson probably know each other. And Larkin said that he asked for a trade just in case, or even to push the buttons of Yzerman to get this shit done. So you're not doing what you did with Hughes here. It's either Robertson comes or I'm out. And that's the reason why he's been pigeonholed him to Minnesota and not really giving him anything, because he knew this was because they worked this and it was already coming up. That's more conspiracy at the end. But this makes sense to me, man, because we just went over a couple teams he might go to. For $14 million, there's not many teams out there. And Larry brought up a really good point that it seems like he's pricing himself out of Dallas because it's a no-tax state. What's wrong with 12.5? If you go somewhere else and somebody gives you 14, you're probably not making much different. So I'm throwing that out.
Yeah, dude, I saw you post that on your Twitter today, and I found that pretty interesting. Because no deal got done yet. And Larkin's been vocal before about being pissed off about not adding to the team and stuff at the deadline when the team was ready to maybe take that step. And that brings me back to a guy like Hellebuck too. Maybe these trade rumors are part of that too. He called out his team at the end of the year saying we need to get better. And maybe that's just a call to say we need reinforcements. We need to get guys. I'll stay. And I don't want to leave, but we need to surround ourselves with better players here. And Larkin seems to be maybe doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. I agree. I think maybe that Cheveldayoff is just hold off, at least till after free agency and the draft, and see what we do and all that kind of stuff like that. Maybe this takes a little longer. But Larry brought up some really good points. And one of them being that I didn't know. Larry's usually really good with like where families are from and stuff like that, and it just seems to be a lot of connection there. What other teams are going to be able to take on that 14 million without giving up roster players and still being good enough? Like, not like you're probably going to be a little better. We talked about Buffalo. We worked out a deal with like Mertka, Olin, Oslin. Well, what else do we have on that? Mertka, Oslin, something in a first round pick. What was the other two player though? I can't remember. Oh, McLeod or something, or something like that. Like, but I like the Detroit deal. I worked out better.
Then you can send Nick Robertson from Toronto for a third round pick to Detroit, and you could play with his brother.
Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, good point.
Here's another thing too. So, what happens if Robertson gets to July 1st? There's teams like that have lots of cap room, like the Sharks, the Ducks, the Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
There's teams with a lot of cap room, and if they're just like, if we get a Robertson, what does our team look like after that? Can we give up 4 first rounders and put ourselves in the playoff picture? And like, I think San Jose says yes. The Ducks say yes. Penguins, I don't know. But what happens if do you think one of those teams would, in a heartbeat at 12:01, offer sheet him and see if he'll sign?
I mean, they could give it a shot, but I mean, does Robertson want to go to any one of the? I mean, I suppose San Jose, but I mean, geez, San Jose is going to be top heavy if they do that deal.
Say if they offer him 15 million by 15 by 7, 16 by 7, they can afford it. Ducks can afford it.
I think they had to do some talking to get Stenberg to want to go there, to tell you the honest truth. And part of it was moving Eklund, and now you're going to bring in Robertson. I think Stenberg's camp's going to be a little pissed on that one. But
I don't know. I don't know if Greer. You take it by a grain of salt, but Greer said today, because they said the move that you moved Eklund because you're looking at Stenberg now, and he's like, he's a really good player, but 6 foot. But he said 6'3" right shot defenseman that can do it all don't come up very often. Right. So he's like, he put it out there. He said we're not necessarily going for Stenberg too. So,
well, of course, I mean, if he can convince somebody lower to take that pick for Reed, then for sure, but. I don't think it's.
I'm just saying he might not even draft Stenberg.
He's taking Stenberg all day. I'm positive of it. Stenberg all day.
Yeah, I don't think Robertson would go I don't think he would go. There's a team, Buffalo, that's ready to drop some coin too, aren't they?
No, we talked about that already. Yeah, Buffalo makes some sense. For sure.
But why take like you said, why take 14 in Buffalo when Dallas is offering you 8 times 12 in a no tax state?
8 times 12 and a half, probably he could squeeze out, and they'd be.
You could probably squeeze them. Yeah. So what the hell is the problem there?
Doesn't want to be in Dallas.
I think, like I said, this is my conspiracy theory with logic. I don't mind conspiracy theories as long as they're logical, not like flat Earth or something. But as long as they got some logic behind it, at least, I think it's possible that this has already been worked out, and he just really wants to go to Detroit. I think it's possible that is the case. If you look at Dallas long term, you got Ranton in there, you got Bork, but it's starting to get a little thin.
That makes me think something, actually. Do you think maybe Robertson's upset with having Ranton on his team? Is there something going on there?
I find it hard to believe, but you never know.
There's something, obviously, like you said, there's no other, what other non-tax team would offer him more? None.
Does Robertson have a little child? Does he have any kids with his wife?
No idea.
6, man. I mean, that would be early, but.
Maybe he's just sour about not getting on the Olympic team. And I know his general manager's Canadian. Jim Neal's Canadian. He was on the board, I think, for the Canadian team, I think. So I don't think that has to do much about it. But yeah, maybe playing and ranting in shadow a little bit. He's not going to get those opportunities, and when the next Olympics come around, maybe he just gets shunned again.
Jason Robertson has no wife or children.
Okay, he has no wife or children. Probably thinking about it though. He has no wife either. Oh, he's.
I was like, let me
doesn't have a girlfriend or anything.
I
thought you said
he's
he had a wife.
currently single and not publicly dating anyone is what is coming back.
Okay, so I thought his wife, you said his wife or girlfriend or whatever was from that Detroit area. Maybe they broke up or something.
I mean, Dallas is a great place.
So his parents live in Detroit, Michigan, I'm pretty sure. Or in Michigan, not Detroit.
That might be.
Where they live in like California. He's from California. Like Los Angeles area.
They live in Dallas, Texas right now, but they live in Dallas. They moved there for him. But I'm pretty sure he grew up in Michigan.
No. California. Like Los Angeles area.
This is throwing all my conspiracy shit right out the window.
No.
His family, so Jason Robertson grew up primarily in Arcadia, California until he was 10 years old. His family then relocated to Northville, Michigan, so that he and his brothers could pursue more competitive and accessible ice hockey opportunities. So he was in Michigan.
We're both right.
We're all right.
Everybody's a winner.
So he's got ties in Michigan, is what I'm saying. He's got ties in Michigan. He might really like it there. Well, but Rico, we brought it up several times. One of the things that is there that we've talked about is the travel. That travel in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's that shit's real, man. And like he doesn't have a family, so that's why I asked if he had a family. Like maybe he was saying, "Oh man, I'm not seeing my kids much. You'd see it a lot more in Detroit." But besides that, I'm not really sure why he would be moving on from there. But he might have a team in mind, and maybe it's more competitive than we're thinking about.
Wait, it does. Okay, it does say Gemini was a liar. He does have a girlfriend. Sorry,
he does have a girlfriend.
Yes, she's from Kingston. I'm just like, wait a second. I thought he had a girlfriend. Okay. Yeah, they're not married or anything, but yeah, she's from Kingston, Ontario.
She's from Kingston, so he's closer to her family, probably.
Well,
I'm sure his family wouldn't mind moving back to Michigan if he went there. I don't know if they're already living there.
Well, they're from California. They moved there for hockey opportunities. Then his parents.
You said his family lives in Dallas now.
Yeah, they moved to be there with him. So if he's leaving Dallas and he's his parents will probably follow him.
Probably.
And apparently Jason Robertson's like a real big student of the game as well.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I've read that he is analytically driven with himself type thing. Like he's
a great shutdown guy. He's friggin' awesome. Wouldn't put him at Stone level, but he's something like that, and he scores like as well. So he's a great player.
Yeah, like he's analytic, offensive zone, like where to be. Like I think he watches a lot of tape of himself, and just like he's right into that side of it.
If you can get Kane back or get another right winger, Robertson, Larkin, and Raymond, man, that's one hell of a line. That line can compete with anybody out there. Holy shit. And then
so you know what you do, you just go and sign Robertson, and then you'll make Larkin definitely want to stay, or make him look a little worse off, than wanting out, especially when you're putting that team together.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Robertson, this is all contingent on Larkin staying, because I mean it's kind of tough to make that move without Larkin on the team.
Yeah, who do you want? Casper or Comfer or Kopp as your first line?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if he is an analytical guy, maybe he is looking at a team like San Jose. He's like, they're about to take off. They're young. If I sign long term, all my year, like all my good years in my prime, I'm going to be on a competitive team. Like, remember when Joe Thornton went there, San Jose was competitive for how many years? Like 12 years with Marleau, Thornton, and all them. So you
Yeah, I
got
don't think it's
Celebrini, which is
impossible,
like
but
Celebrini is one of the top centers in the game right now. So if
I
you
don't think
go
it's
there and
impossible. Maybe San Jose takes Reed and they got rid of Eklund because they got an in on Robertson. I'm not saying that's impossible. That's possible.
yeah,
You know?
so they can afford to pay him whatever he wants. Like if he wants Kaprizov money, he can get that,
Yeah.
and they can still be competitive for years.
Yeah, he gets to play with Celebrini. That'd be pretty cool. I
I'm wondering
don't think that's impossible. I don't think that's impossible.
because San Jose needs to spend another 20+ million to get to the floor. No, 26 million to get to the floor.
That's
More than
crazy.
26 million. So how do you get to the floor if you're San Jose? Who are you signing? So
You're gonna
that
get
screams
Morgan Riley.
that
Morgan
screams
Riley.
Robertson. That screams Robertson to me. And if he's analytical, he's like, look at this team. They're full of young
And
studs. I
San
go
Jose's
there.
a heavy analytics team. So
That's
yeah,
where
I mean, it's possible. It's very possible that that is the
Mhm.
case. I don't count that one out too either. We talked about Utah. I think it's
He's a-
less likely, but I think Utah's going to be on the phone. They don't have the first though to do that.
and he lived in California when he was younger, so maybe he
Yeah,
really likes that beach life too.
yeah, that is very true. Could very well be.
There's not much beaches in San Jose, I don't think, is there?
You're a little bit away from the water, but the ocean's just like a few like 20-minute drive or whatever.
Yeah,
Anaheim.
this move is where he's going to want to raise a family. This is going to be at his staple as to where.
Maybe he wants to go to a hockey town, more of a hockey town, not like a market like Dallas.
That, and if he has kids and he moves to like a Detroit, he knew that that program in that area basically made him and his brother NHLers, and maybe that's where he wants to go back to those
Possible
roots
too.
and raise a family there. And that's where, if he has a son, he can raise him into a hockey player too.
Yeah.
Well, I think
all good points. I think Anaheim maybe could be something to look at too. I think they got probably cap space, and that is closer.
They got it.
That is closer to the water. Carlson and Robertson would be just absolutely fucking disgusting.
Maybe he's just really big fan of Paul Cree and wants to watch him surf in Anaheim.
Anaheim's got picks. They still got prospects. And they got Zellweger there. And they could put something together for sure. There's a lot of ways it could go, but I just really thought that Detroit connection there seemed to intrigue me quite a bit. And Stevie Y is a pretty smart guy. I don't think Stevie Y is like crazy offended with Larkin. Like, yeah, I don't think the fans are going to lose. I mean, there are going to be fans that have that just like loyalty bullshit. I call it.
Who's Jason Robertson's idol growing up? You never know. If he was getting raised playing hockey in the Detroit area, he might have been
Stevie Y.
Let's see.
Stevie Y. Yeah.
Who's his favorite player?
He's a good guy too. If you just see interviews and stuff like that, he's pretty down to earth, dude.
So Jason, in interviews, he said his parents were his true everyday idols, but he also said he wanted to play a game like Ilya Kovalchuk and Jaromir Jagr.
Oh, that's older.
Oh, and then where is it?
He'll throw Datsuk in there probably.
I don't know what the source is on this one, but it says Paul Kariya, growing up in Southern California as an Asian American, Robertson also deeply admired and looked up to Hall of Famer Paul Kariya.
That's right.
There you
I
go.
forgot he's
Larry,
Asian.
he's surfing in Anaheim, dude. You got it. You said it first.
Maybe.
Yeah. Could very well be.
I think there's something else here. I think we can all agree. I think he's pricing himself to not sign in San Jose.
In Dallas, yeah. He's
No,
not.
or
He's
sorry,
pricing to
sorry.
not sign in Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Too much bad blood there, probably. Just shit that's gone on there. Him getting snubbed in the Olympics. Dallas maybe being not looked at by the big markets. You go to a big market, original six, you're going to get a lot more coverage and stuff as well, better travel. Dude, I more and more I'm thinking of it. Fucking Detroit's, if Larkin stays, the Brinkat, Kane, you got the boys all there. It might just add a little bit still.
But Kane's only playing maybe a couple more years, I'd say.
Yeah,
So
it would just be for that year, or they could go out and get a Jenner or something. I think you go get other players out there.
Boone Jenner's going to Ottawa market. He's going to sign July 1st.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard too.
There's a lot of rumors of it, so
I'd like that deal for Ottawa.
I just posted on.
Yeah, why not? That's nothing wrong with that.
I just posted on X like, if Ottawa didn't get another top six forward as of right now, and you sign Jenner and move Pinto up, and you have Cousins, Stützle, Batherson, Eklund, Pinto, and Zetterlund on your second line, Greg, Jenner, and Matteo. So I was like, I'm okay starting that with the season. I'd want another top six forward, but
I don't know if Jenner's a center anymore at this stage. I think he's more of a winger now.
Greg can play center too, but I like Greg on the wing better. I think Boone Jenner can play. He's really good at face-offs, so
he is, but he's slowed down for the position now. That's why it's like he's gone through 3 coaches and they've all been putting him on the wing.
You kind of have to play the left wing lock with him a little bit. That's all. Just have a good two-way guy in his line.
Yeah. He has been playing more on the wing. I mean, they need another center there, and they still play him on the wing because Monahan was not bad last year. Okay, so I think that was a really good conversation there. I think we didn't really come to any conclusions, but I think all of those are good options. I think,
conclusion that I think he's outpricing himself to go somewhere else.
I do think that. You talked me into Anaheim too, but Detroit or Anaheim, I think it seems to be I'm more leaning to than the San Jose. But could be any one of those are fine. I don't see any other team. I can't think of any other teams that could give that kind of a haul and still have cap space to sign him and all that kind of stuff like that.
Or Robertson signs with
Carolina.
Signs with a Canadian team just because he got snubbed off the men's Olympics.
I'm not sure about that. But Carolina was one. I put that out there a little while ago. Carolina, they got tons of cap space.
Hey, if Robertson wants to come to Ottawa, we'll pay him.
Yeah.
They'll pay him anywhere between 13 and 14.
Ottawa is what? A couple hours from Kingston at the most?
3 it's on the way. Yeah, about 3 hours. Somewhere in there, 2 or 3 hours.
I heard that he was already out on Ottawa for whatever reason.
A couple people reported that, but I haven't seen anybody credible say that.
Yeah, a nice passionate fan base, good place to raise your families. One of the safest cities, if not the safest, largest city in Canada.
All of these things, I totally agree, and I've mentioned this several times before. Can't imagine anybody choosing some of the other cities in the NHL over Ottawa myself. I mean, okay, yeah, but like, it was put out today that Brady Tkachuk is going to make $2 million in pocket by going to Florida. Now that is a no tax state. $2 million a year in pocket. That's a lot of money, man. And you go to other, Chicago, I think, is the same as Indiana here. You're making that kind of money. It's about 22%. You will kind of make a little more money, but it's.
You just got to be smarter. You got to be smarter with your money if you're in a tax state. You got to have like a little side business, or your wife has a home business that has a fucking cricket machine or something. Like, just have a tax,
why don't you just start a small business and then you
have
tax
a tax shelter, write stuff off. You can just liquidate those tax dollars into other areas. There's a way to do it.
Like there
Not
has
totally,
to be.
but most of
But
it.
again, then another thing too that a lot of people don't bring up is if you live in Canada and getting paid in US dollars, everything is already 30% cheaper. Every time you go to the grocery store, it's 30% cheaper for you. It's you're buying a house 30% cheaper.
And like you said, Larry,
Then what?
healthcare is free. You know,
Well,
all of a
it's
sudden you
sort of, but
raise
it
a
doesn't.
family in Canada and your kid has cancer. I mean, you got to pay for healthcare in the States, but I'm sure there's plans and stuff with the
Yeah.
players. But
You
If you're on a
pay,
work permit, you can apply to be covered through. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. They just said that the math, and unless I'm doing sports betting,
I don't think
math
Tuch could be saving 2 million because again, it's a tax-free state, so the 41 home games you don't get taxed on. But wherever you're playing on the road, you get taxed at that state's tax.
That's what I heard. All of this stuff, but I'll dig deeper and try to get more concrete answer to that. But and I don't know the source.
I thought I heard it
Probably should
on
have thrown out, but
TSN or somebody was talking about it was like Jeff O'Neill, I want to say, or something. He's like, these teams it's not all tax free. You get paid what you get in the state that you're playing in. So if the game's played in Michigan, you get taxed for that. You get paid per game. So you get paid that. That's why
I heard that.
That's why players
Cool.
wanted signing bonuses, because then if they're in a now no tax state and you get your signing bonus, boom, it's all tax free. And that's
and nobody wanted to go to these places until they started becoming good. And the NHL started selling those cities. The NHL did a good job of marketing. Like nobody was going to the Panthers. It's been a no tax state since fucking ever.
Yeah, but
Like,
that being said, that okay, yes, absolutely. No, you're not going to a no tax state if the team sucks. That's not going to care. The most important thing is that you want to win a cup, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But all things being equal, and you're going to Florida or Tampa Bay, they're already good. Then it does matter. But who was it?
like nobody's racing to go to Seattle.
Brian
Nobody's
Burke came
racing
out
to go
and
to
said
Seattle.
it is.
There's no
It said
tax
like
state.
years ago that it was going to be a problem, and he showed the math. And he's a general manager. He said there's no doubt about it. You make more money if you go to a no tax state.
I know, but why
Brian
aren't
Burke,
anybody
and
racing
so
to go to
did
Seattle?
what's that?
Why isn't anybody racing to go to Seattle? There's a no tax
Seattle
state
sucks.
team that has a shit ton of money. Exactly.
But they
once
still
they
do
become
get
good,
free agents. There's a lot of guys that do go there. Not unlike many.
Bobby
Like
McMann
when's the last time Ottawa picked up a big free agent? Not too many times.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton has a bitch of a time now. They got all the money. They got money. They don't. What do they pick? Roslovich? Like, it's
If Edmonton was a no tax, it might help them.
yeah, of course it would. It's also colder than shit. It's not the sexiest city in the world, but ultimately, you want to win. But if you can find another team that's in the winning category as another team and you get to make more money, you're probably going to take that. Pierre Maguire said it flat out today on his show that and he was a general manager. He says that it definitely you definitely make more money. Now I'm hearing both sides of this because I just did a show again. Why I always forget his name. I did a show last night and the guy from Sportsology. Why do I always forget his fucking name?
Dude, you say this every time you mention him. We got to get him a name tag, Pearl.
Russ Cohen. Fuck. I've only been watching this guy for years too. Like I love this guy. I love Russ Cohen. Very intelligent guy. It was so awesome to have him on my show. Go Pucking Deep. Go check it out. It was a good one. On my channel, you can go check it out. And he said now something completely different. He said from what he understands, it's actually about the fact that they don't want to be in a bubble in Canadian market. And it's not about the tax. So I don't know.
So I found out more about the taxes here. I went and looked it up. So it's called a jock tax. It's a standalone tax to athletes when they play in different jurisdictions and different borders. So the only no jock tax and no state tax states are Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Washington, and Nevada. So those are your no tax states, right?
Florida.
Yeah.
Did you say Florida?
Yeah, Florida,
Okay.
Texas, Tennessee, so Nashville,
Yeah.
Washington,
And
and Seattle,
not
not Washington, D.C.,
DC.
and Nevada.
so Washington has it too, and you see guys going there pretty. No,
Washington, like the state Washington, not Washington,
not
D.C.
Washington D.C. Okay,
Washington, like the north.
So Seattle,
or north,
Seattle
yeah.
has it.
Northwestern state.
Seattle doesn't have a problem getting free agents too much, but they get the lower end ones because they're not really a contender, but they still get them. McMahon signed there for $6.5, and Eberle stayed there.
That's interesting. States with strict/high jock taxes. California, 13.3% of your earnings when you're playing a game in there is taxed.
And people have no problems going to LA.
New York, 10.9. New Jersey, 10.75. And Massachusetts, 9%. So those are some of the examples. And Canada, apparently, Quebec and Nova Scotia, if you're that, it doesn't say what it is, but say they feature the highest combined marginal income tax rates, but they don't have a jock tax. So
it's
that's
interesting, that's for sure.
So even if you're making $8 million in Florida, the minute you go to California and you get paid whatever, like $100,000 or $100 and some grand, you're getting taxed 13%,
right?
3% when you
there
play
twice.
So you want to be
you're playing most of your games at home, so it does add up.
So you want to be injured on the California trip.
And if you're in LA, if you're living in LA, but see, they don't have any problems going to New York and LA because they're sexy cities. You can do whatever you want to do. They're exciting. Be a millionaire in LA and New York. You can go do whatever you want anytime you want. It's an exciting city. So, all right, Tuch. Since we were talking about Washington, the Tuch deal. First thing that came up with that Tuch deal is the big question of whether Ovi's going to play, and I think he will. Probably take a little bit of less, but I'll tell you, it's going to be hard to find a spot for him now after that Tuch.
He's a third liner at this point.
Kyrou,
on the first power play, third liner.
Maybe, Tuch and Kyrou. Kyrou is a good playmaker, so that might be one of the reasons why he went that way. He got Rico. I was going to ask you this. I don't remember Tuch playing right too often, playing left wing too often. Do you remember him playing left wing? Like he's listed as an RW, and he played center in Vegas for a while, but most of the time he was put to the right side.
Trying to think if he did. I can't remember. It was Thompson playing on the right side, I think, or Thompson on. No, where was Thompson playing when he was playing with?
What was that line? What was that line? What was the line in Vegas that he played on? It was. Thompson played on the right. No, Thompson played center. He played on the right. When Thompson played on the right, he played on another line.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played LW in Buffalo, or I don't remember. Maybe a couple times, but not on a regular basis.
There was Nicholas Roy there for a while.
Yeah. There was the Carlson, Riley. What was the other one line? It was a line where they called it something like the rejected line or something like that. It was Carlson, Riley, or
the Misfits.
Misfits. That's it.
Mhm.
I found an article here from Vegas, July 3rd, 2019. So they said on the Tuch at this time, Tuch was playing on the third line by Nikita Gustav and Cody Eakin and Nicholas Roy. And then apparently he was there. I don't remember, but according to this.
No, they weren't there for very long. No, Roy was.
Roy or Raw, I don't know how to say it.
Raw. Oh, yeah, Nicholas Waugh. I think it's Waugh. I can't remember. She was there for a while.
I don't know.
But I know in Buffalo, he's got the type of game that should be able to play both sides, right, Rico? I think. The only thing is he's kind of a driving player. If he's on the left side, he's going to the net on his backhand, which probably wouldn't be his favorite thing in the world. If he's on the right, he's going to his forehand. I know one thing. If I'm Beauvillier, I'm probably watching my phone for the next little while because you're probably not staying in Washington. He's got to be the odd man out there.
I mean, if you look at it now, you're probably going to see that Protoss guy playing with like Strome and maybe Kyrou. Then like you could have a second line of Alex Tuch and Dubois and like Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson's a right W, so he would be left. Tuch would be left.
Yeah, Tuch's
Leonard's an RW. He's got to get some ice time.
Well, Leonard with Protoss's brother with like Surda or something.
I think they want to keep the Protoss kid brothers together too.
Yeah.
No, Protoss brother's so young. Did he even play in the NHL this year?
Oh yeah.
Ilya
played at the end. He played really well.
Oh, he played 4 games. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then that was also at the end of the season when it was pretty much pond hockey and nobody was. So I don't know how good he would be. They may see him as a winger down the road instead of a center, and maybe who knows. But
is Ovechkin signed?
I'm betting Washington to make the playoffs.
No,
that's all I know for sure. I didn't even. I wanted to check that today, and I got too busy.
Ovechkin hasn't signed a contract yet, has he?
No, it won't. He won't announce anything. His decision until after July 1st. He said.
He's definitely don't expect that, though, right?
Probably. If he was retiring, I think he would have. He would have just retired at the end and left and went to Russia and pissed off.
If Ovechkin comes back for a minimal deal, and all of a sudden they convince John Carlson to come back, Washington Capitals are making the playoffs.
Yeah, my John Carlson meter is now towards Washington than Tampa Bay.
Dude, if they convince Ovechkin to take like whatever deal and just bring the band back together for his last year, and John Carlson comes back, then you got Chychrun and Carlson, then you got Sandin, Hudson, Matt Roy, Fairbury, Littlegren on the back end. Like now you're talking.
You got Thompson. I mean, you got great goaltending.
I think Washington have the best defensive lineup in the NHL almost. They got John Carlson signed.
Dude, that power play would be unbelievable.
Washington to win the Metro is plus 750 right now, Rico. Dude, I haven't found any to make the playoffs.
Dude, because New Jersey, are they going to bounce back? They're stuck with fucking Markstrom in that still.
Markstrom's,
like the Rangers, they're not getting better. The Islanders, like who in the Metro if the Capitals?
It's only Carolina. Carolina wins it again.
Yeah, Carolina. But you know what? Stanley Cup hangover, they could be a little bit dead tired, and Brindamore be like, hey, we don't need the division. Let's just make the fucking playoffs.
They're learning their lesson that they don't need to be in the division, and they'll actually sit guys and stuff. I could see Washington winning that division plus 750, man.
Carolina, Washington, and then it's either a mix of New Jersey, Columbus, Islanders, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Like, yeah, those would be the top two. Who's the third one? because most likely the other 2 wild cards will go to the Atlantic again.
Keep an eye on the Caps, man.
It's just funny. You see the Atlantic, you see the Central. You just got some really stacked teams in those ones, and then you got a couple in the Metro, and then you got Edmonton and I guess Vegas. Yeah, it's like Pacific and the Metro are like basically mirrors of each other, and then somewhat the Central towards the Atlantic. Well, the powerhouses are in those 2 conference, Central and Atlantic.
That's pretty cool that Alex Tuch went to Washington and Kairou's there. Like, that's going to be interesting to see those guys there.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting team.
Got some good trigger guys there in Washington now, guys that can put the puck in the net.
And like they said, they still got cap space. So,
well, yeah, I don't think Ovechkin will take much money. I think he'd do like $2 million or something with bonuses or something.
And he's still got all his commercials and everything. If he stays in North America, he'll make more money off the ice.
Hasn't he made the most money out of anybody at this point now?
Like on the ice or off the ice?
On the ice.
Yeah.
Career-wise?
Yeah, Alex Ovechkin. Career-wise, $170.7 million. Crosby's number 2 at 165 and Malkin 151. So yeah, I thought Ovechkin for sure was the one that.
And Crosby took less.
They got $12 million in cap space. I don't think they can get Carlson in unless Ovi retires.
If you're making,
but I do think
over $100 million in your career, you don't really need money at this point.
Yeah, Ovi takes them in, and they're probably talking about it right now. Ovi, you get Carlson back. I'll sign for $1 million. I'll do the last year here. Let's get the band back together and let's go for a run.
Yeah.
Well, John Carlson doesn't need to sign long term. He could sign 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
He could sign 1 year and just for a cup. Why not?
Dude, hey, man, and you could sniff that Metro division like pretty decently. Like Carolina, what are they going to look like in their motivation coming back? All those guys might be banged up a little bit, going for it. They won their cup, the Stanley Cup hangover. The East is the feast. Put that lineup together in Washington, like we just talked about, and they go into a series against the Florida Panthers. Tom Wilson starts.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind putting a little bit on them to win the cup. It's probably if they're plus 750 to win the Metro. It's got to be a pretty good price.
Washington could be a sleeper team, dude. I know, their odds probably. I would have loved to see their odds before these 2 acquisitions, but.
Yeah, if they signed John Carlson, then my God, what do you do?
This could totally happen, man. Carlson and Chychrun on the fucking power play. Holy moly!
You got 2 bombs, and then you got Ovechkin on the left side who doesn't move.
Oh my God!
He gets the puck. You just have, and then you just put you just put Tom Wilson on the one side that will dig the pucks out for you, and then you got.
Just sit him right in front of the net. Nobody will go near him. So Washington automatically went up to plus 1,900 in cup odds. So now they're the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th favorite to win the cup. They're in the top 10.
Imagine a power play with Alex Tuch, Alex Ovechkin, Tom Wilson, Chychrun, and John Carlson.
You're forgetting Kyrou too. Has got a lethal shot.
Well, I know, but just how big all those guys are. How would you get the puck? Even if the puck is a scrum, you're just gonna get squashed.
Dude, man. You watch now that we're talking about it. John Carlson would have went to Tampa already, I think, if he was signed in there. He's probably got a house in Washington. The guy's been there for how many years? He went to Anaheim for 1 year. He can go right back to Washington, right back to his life again, right back to the team and coach and fans and everybody he knows. And dude, he never asked for a trade or he never moved, never talked about it. You don't hear much shit about him off the ice, moving, not happy with the team, even through the lean years and stuff. Like, he's the type of guy that would totally go back to Washington. Fucking do it.
Your top pair would be Chikrin and John Carlson. Oh,
You could
Jesus.
throw $5 on the Caps to win the cup, you get $100 back.
Yep.
Like, I mean, $5. You pay that at Starbucks. For a small...
$5. You get what? Half a coffee at Starbucks. Somebody comes by with the freaking a little dropper thing and drops some coffee and maybe a squeeze of caramel.
Then they hand you over the debit thing to tap your debit, and they ask you if you want a 20% tip or a 25.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. You need to, you're going to need some lube after that transaction for sure. No doubt about that. You're going to need some Hymies for sure after that transaction.
And Washington can make that move, can't they? They got enough room to make another move on that back end, don't they?
Bring Carlson back, yeah.
They can do it.
Maybe it was a plan the whole time. I thought it was the plan the whole time when they moved him to Anaheim. Grab a couple draft picks or grab a pick or whatever.
And yeah, we'll see you in June.
Yeah. We'll see you next summer. Go enjoy your vacation in Anaheim. Go enjoy your vacation in Anaheim.
Yeah, we got a 3-year deal for you coming back. We're going to trade you at the deadline. I know you've been a career capital. You won a cup here. We just need the assets, but you're going to come back. So we're going to make our team better. So.
Fire John Carlson. That's where I'd sign there rather than Tampa Bay right now.
Absolutely. Dude, he's familiar with the place. This makes total sense. Obviously, money's coming in on the Capitals from them to get into the top 10 for cup odds. Money's coming in heavy on the Caps.
I said when Kyrou got traded there, I'm like, oh, that probably moves the needle for Carlson to say, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I will go back to Chicago.
But the Oilers jumped into 4th shortest odds. Like, how are the Oilers winning a cup?
Babcock went to the guys that do the odds and said, fucking do it. Give us better odds. We kick your ass and look at your phone.
I think they're always going to be able to sell the Oilers on with a McDavid-led team. Like, people will buy it, so they're getting a good price. They're gouging a good price out of that because of McDavid, probably.
Connor McDavid.
I mean, Colorado's still number 1 at plus 700. They traded Jack Drury, right? He wasn't a free agent.
I don't think he was signed, was he?
Was that a signing for Jack Drury, Pearlo, or was it a trade?
Trade.
Yeah.
But
where did he go? Where did Drury go again? Was it Nashville?
Drury went to Nashville, yeah. We were going to talk about that deal too. Just quick. They got the best player. I don't mind that LaRue kid. I don't mind him. I think that's a pretty good player.
Yeah, that was a good lateral move for Colorado, knowing that Jack Drury's probably going to command a bit of money, so might as well just get rid of that now while you can get something for it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're moving somebody then, because you have O'Reilly on his last year. Maybe move him.
Maybe. I don't know when Nashville's funny. They've drafted well though. I don't know about that kid. He went back to junior and he didn't really knock it out of the park, but he had a good camp. So I don't know that. I'm bringing him up right now.
Ryan O'Reilly has no trade protection, and there's no centerman on that market. If a team really badly needs a centerman, like, damn, you could I think Nashville could get like a first and a good NHL player for him at this point because just his low
He's
cap
been
hit
out there for a
and
while.
there's nobody else to get. Probably doesn't
He's
want to
been
leave
out there for a
Nashville,
while, but
right
Nashville
now,
has made it pretty clear that they just can't afford to miss the playoffs. So they're trying to do both things at one time. It's hard to say. I love that Matthew Wood pickup. Brady Martin, again, he didn't knock it out of the park in junior, but he had a good camp, and they got him penciled in here right now. And then they went out and got Jack Drury, who's a good fourth liner. He can play third line, actually. He's not bad. But, I mean, they're depending on a lot of kids there. Joaquin Kemmel, I don't know if he's ever really going to be a player, but they seem to think so. It's a
I'm
weird
gonna have to
team.
bounce here.
Oh yeah, go
It's
whenever
after
you
11
want.
there.
Man.
Yep.
You can come
Okay,
and go
everyone,
whenever
guys.
you want. See you later, bud. Thanks for coming in, man. I'm frozen, aren't
Not really, no. Pearlo,
Okay.
you know what's something I read today on Twitter too? I don't know if you saw that as well, like all the American players going down to the States and stuff. And I don't know if it was Friedman that mentioned it, but somebody quoted him like that the guys do on Twitter that they hear from Friedman is that they took a lot of like hate and stuff from Canadian fans and stuff, like during the Olympics. And basically being American and playing against Canada and beating Canada and stuff, and you're on those Canadian teams and those same Canadian fans are kind of just fucking ravaging you and just putting the hate out there and stuff's making you want to go back and play in your home country.
It's not fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that part of the Olympics had to do with it too, apparently, that you know, like they were booing the national anthem in Canadian rinks when you had American players playing on those Canadian teams and shit.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that could have had a thing to do with it too.
You got to realize, they should realize that it's not about the United States, but it's about politics, which is really bullshit to begin with. But not only that, you got, I mean, just being in Canada, period. There's a lot of vitriol going on there and bad mouth in the United States. And you may say whatever, but it's awkward. At the very least, it's awkward. And you've got to answer questions about it. And you got all that stuff like that. And the fact that it's your home. I mean, it's just simple as that. It's your home if you're from the United States. If you're from Canada, I don't know. Some of these guys, you think they would want to go back? Like there's so much. Like Marchman had all the Canadian teams from Toronto, and he had all the Canadian teams on his no trade list, and a lot of other Canadians do as well. It's disappointing. Like what's cool is you got a guy like Radish, who could have could have stayed in Tampa, took the less money. I mean, he would take equal money, but stayed in Tampa because of the no taxes stuff like that. Or he probably could have got a deal in the United States where there's a lower tax rate.
He could have definitely got more money Radish somewhere else. Like compared to these contracts that are getting handed out right now, Radish at 8.5 doesn't look too bad.
No, I mean. He's a Toronto boy. He wanted to play in Toronto. I totally get that. And I totally get that for anybody who wants to play in the United States and they're American. It's your home. I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah.
But
then when you start booing the fucking national anthems and you're playing on that Canadian team and your own fans are booing your country like that.
It's awkward, at least. At the very least, it's awkward, man. Like, yeah. It's bad.
Yeah.
You can't help but feel like you shouldn't be there. But I mean, Sanderson doesn't have a problem there. They have some other Americans there.
We'll see. I mean, Sanderson signed before the Olympics and all this booing shit and that. You never know, right? It's going to happen down the road, but
Hey, like I said, I know a lot of Americans here that say, "Why did you move here?" You know, like their politics allow that, make them think that it's better to live in Canada, and there's probably players that feel that way too, that they like that the Canadian model and whatever the politics there in Canada, and they're not happy with what's going on in the United States. It's very well possible that that is the case. So, yeah, everybody's different.
yeah,
That's all I gotta say. Everybody's
for
different.
sure. Yeah, everybody's different, and
As far as
everybody
as far as
treats you different.
everybody treats you different, did you say?
Well, just like if you go over into the U.S., you could run into the nicest person in the world, or you can run into an asshole. Like they're
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, absolutely. As
Like
like
when
I
you
talked
talk
about in
about-
Edmonton, and this is the Russ Cohen brought it up. This is true. Like if you're in Edmonton, I think there's pretty much just as many assholes everywhere, you know, to a certain degree. There might be certain places more than others, but for the most part, there's just as many. But in Edmonton, when you order in Canada in general, I suppose, but in Edmonton, it's only what, million and some there, and they're all rabid hockey fans. So, like if you lived in Nashville, there's just as many assholes there, but there's not as many assholes that care about hockey there.
Mhm.
And in Edmonton, there's just as many assholes as in Nashville, but those assholes care about hockey, and they treat the players outside of the rink like shitty. Skinner showed it, and that's happened, and that's out there. Like Skinner left for that reason. It sounds like Nurse is kind of feeling that way too. Lucius talked about it. People yelling at him across the street and bullshit. And like I said, that's not an indication that Edmonton is like that. It's an indication that the assholes in Edmonton are hockey fans, and quite often aren't the case in many of the other cities you go to. So you don't have to deal with it. And that could be a big reason why a lot of teams are looking to play. Nurse doesn't want to go out west, and he doesn't want to play for a Canadian team after his experience in Edmonton. He said that quite clearly.
Yeah. Did you see the reason Bobby McMahon, when he asked, what was your driving force to re-sign in Seattle, and he said the loyalty of the fans, the social media output, like the passion and stuff of the fans. Like I saw it on social media, that they were almost begging me to re-sign there and stuff, and I just saw the passion, and I re-signed here. Like that was Bobby McMahon, like using social media as one of the reasons why he re-signed in Seattle.
Yeah, because he's seen positive social media in Seattle.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to Tampa Bay fans, man, you can do no wrong if you're a player in Tampa Bay. I'll tell you, if you try to talk shit about their players, for the most part that I've met, they'll go right down your fucking throat, man. Like they love their players there. And I heard the same thing about Minnesota. Like you're treated like, even if you're the worst Minnesota player, you're a god as soon as somebody sees you in Minnesota. Like they're not going to go out and shit on you and stuff like that like you do in Edmonton. Now, I said there's probably just as many assholes everywhere, but you're not seeing it quite as much in Minnesota for some reason. I don't know why, because a lot of players say that they don't get that sort of stuff there. So I don't know what that's about, but they I know, because I've talked to a lot of Tampa fans and Minnesota fans too. Minnesota fans, it's annoying actually. If you talk to Toronto fans or Edmonton fans or some other fans, they're usually a lot of fairly realistic. Minnesota fans have a tendency they think Rossi's like going to be the best thing in the world when he was there. And, it's hard to talk trades with them because Yurov's going to be a elite number 2, don't you know? So when you're trying to make a trade, they're like, yeah, why? What's the problem with Yurov? Detroit should take that all day. They don't get it. If it's their player, they're the best. So
Yeah.
And that's great if you play there. If people are like that.
I gotta take a bathroom break, Pearlo. I'll be right back.
Actually, probably okay. I'll probably just finish it up, but
Okay, buddy. Yeah. All right.
it's been an hour and 20 now. All right, thank you everybody for coming in. This has been Rico and Pearlo's House of Larry's Jaime's Takes Frolic. Larry has gone away, but you can watch all of our stuff again. Maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. Tomorrow is just before the draft. You got to figure there's going to be some more stuff to talk about tomorrow. Got to figure. That's the night before the draft. And we will be on for the draft as well. So go check us out there. Check me out on Pearlo's NHL POW. Swag is smashing baseball. $25 a month for if you go to my winnable up on the top of the my profile there. He's hitting like 70%, and for handicappers, that is amazing. That's awesome. Any kind of betting, doesn't matter what sport you're betting, if you're at 70%, it's an investment. You will make money doing that. And you can also get my $150 a year package there with Jaime's 12. And it's for a full calendar year. So if you get in on it right now, you can have it for a full calendar year, and you get all the baseball picks too. Last year, I was up 472 units, which is a lot of money, and I have been up for 7 years. That's all I got. That's my full 42. I haven't Pearlo danced in a while. There's a Pearlo dance. I'm going to Pearlo dance you out, everybody. Grab yourself some Jaime's on your way out. Barbecue flavor for the season. Grab yourself a bottle. And tap that like, subscribe if you haven't. Catch you next time.